He said because the president wanted people to remain calm.
Well, let's get.
No, but Susan, this is important,
Susan,
I want to add. But Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking. I'm speaking.
The interruptions, it was a level of disrespect that I thought. But then when I see it, I kind of think of gender. Then I also think of for Black females, and I think in her case, she was holding her own and trying not to come across as they call it, the angry Black woman, even though I know she's very capable. She's very capable of presenting an argument or, I don't want to say attacking, but I think that's the way it would have been viewed if she had responded in kind in the way in which he was speaking. It would have been considered an attack from her and negatively.
Yeah, you can have 15 more seconds, and then we'll give the Vice President a chance to respond.
So I want to ask the American people.
I did feel that the moderator kept her more on task, that she was expected to stay within her 2 minutes, respond to the specific the questions. And in this instance, she went back to remind her of her time, even though she, throughout the debate, she was interrupted numerous times by Vice President Pence.
Joe Biden has been very clear. He will not raise taxes on anybody who makes less than $400,000 a year.
He said he's going to repeal the Trump tax cuts.
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking.
Well,
I'm speaking.
It'd be important if you said the truth. Joe Biden said twice in the debate last week that he's going to repeal the Trump tax cuts. That was tax cuts that gave the average working family $2,000 in a tax break every single year. Senator,
that is absolutely not true.
Is he only going to repeal part of the Trump tax cuts?
If you don't mind letting me finish, we can then have a conversation, okay?
Please.
Okay.
Even though I think at the end, when they analyzed the debate, they're saying that she had the same equal amount of time as he did, maybe off by a few seconds. But it did not appear that way during the actual, debate.
And there's a difference between uninterrupted time and interrupted time. I mean, she might have had the same amount of time, but there were clearly moments where he was talking during her portion to answer. Mm-hmm. And you can't just add the two, her before and after together and act like that's the same.
Trying to get rid of the Affordable Care Act, which means that you will lose protections if you have pre-existing conditions. And this is very important, Susan.
Yes,
and it's important.
We need to give Vice President.
He interrupted me, and I'd like to just finish, please.
And that's when I said the moderator, I thought, should have stepped in more and said, this is her time.
We'll always stand with law enforcement, and we'll do what we've done from day one, and that is improve the lives of African Americans.
Thank you, Vice
Record
President
unemployment, record investments in education, and we'll fight for school choice.
She allowed Pence to complete his thought. And he actually said, no, I really want to complete my thoughts.
Subscribe to Colbert Classroom and be on the lookout for new videos.